Welcome to I Still Call It a Lariat. We are a pro wrestling podcast. My name is Steve Zaff. I am the host of this glorious show. With me this week to talk about a great week in pro wrestling. It was a week in pro wrestling. My boy Hound Dog, how you doing over there, Hound?
I'm doing well. Thank you for having me. Yes, it most easily summed up as this was a week.
Yes, the wrestling was wrestling, sorta.
Things occurred.
Things happened. I don't know if they were great things. NXT had their first show back at the Performance Center. AEW did stuff with the song November Rain. Things happened. People were talking, I guess. Oh, but before we get into all that, let's talk about some nonprofit organizations. First up, we have Tap Cancer Out. It is a series of jiu-jitsu tournaments that helps out with varying cancer nonprofit organizations, including, but not limited to, I got it right this time, Alex's Lemonade Stand, American Brain Tumor Association, Isabel Santos Foundation, Little Pink Houses of Hope, Camp Sunshine, Christopher's Haven, the Sidney Kimmel Comprehensive Cancer Center at Johns Hopkins, CureCervicalCancer.org, First Descent, and of course, Tom Coughlin's J-Fun. Give it to me, Hound. Give it to me. Give it to me.
I'm going for it. Give me a second. I'm a little under the weather, but it's the J-Fun. I hope that comes through, man.
Yes. All right. The other one that we have been posting a lot about is, of course, the American Red Cross and their disaster relief funds with the varying hurricanes and things like that. Just helping out with disaster relief in general. Again, there are so many people that with these last couple hurricanes and just varying disasters need everyone's help. Please, folks, check these out. And the last one is, of course, Chris Bay's GoFundMe. Chris Bay, for anyone who does not know, who has not listened in the last couple weeks, he suffered a very serious neck injury performing a springboard cutter and had to have emergency neck surgery. We will, of course, have the QR code on the screen while you're watching this, and all of the descriptions and links for our nonprofits will be in our descriptions. They are also available to get to through our varying social media accounts, our Twitter/X pages. I believe we have them linked up on our Instagram as well. And if you are a member of our group on Facebook, of course, it is there as well. But with that said, Hound Dog, you want to talk some wrestling?
I suppose that might be the reason we're here. May as well.
Is that what the people are here for? Is that what they came for?
I mean, I highly doubt it's to look at either one of us.
I mean, we're not that attractive.
Well,
you are better looking than I am these days.
That is a lie.
All right, let's see. First off, we're going to talk about NXT. This is, as I said, this is the first NXT that was back at the Performance Center after a few weeks on the road. Not to mention, they also just had the show at the ECW arena, the 2300 arena, if you will. Honestly, this show was a little bit of a lull, but I also felt like it kind of had to be. They were on a high for a really long time. And I think that it was about time that they needed to hit a lower level of show. You can't keep having CM Punk's on there and Randy Orton's on there and going to the ECW arena and pulling absolute legends. So, I mean, I thought the show overall was good. It was good enough. I think this was the lull after a couple of those big shows, and we might get a little bit closer to this deadline PLE. We'll get some more bigger shows, I think.
It was a palate cleanse week, like we were talking about before we started. It kind of feels that way across the board. Every promotion, everything felt very okay. everybody's been eating for a little while, and we're heading towards dessert. Time to clear the palate so that way you can appreciate it. And wrestling is saturated everywhere. So you need times like this for everybody, including folks like you and I, who we get rather involved into the minutia of it all, and even into some things that folks here in the States wouldn't get involved in, with CMLL and NJPW and all that other stuff. That, well, they'll catch a highlight thing here or there and be like, wow, that's really cool, and then forget about it the moment after they saw it. It's kind of good because we do need to decompress our brains as well.
Yes, totally accurate, Hound Dog. So let's talk about NXT though. Show opens with a women's tag team match. I also want to point out on this show there are 6 matches and 4 of them are women's matches. So good for you, NXT, first of all. But the show opens with a women's tag team match. It is Lash Legend and Jakara Jackson from Metaphor versus Stephanie McCurr and Julia. I kind of have the same critiques of this match that I've been having on these 4 ladies, except for my new one is, and this isn't a critique, this is a praise. Jakara Jackson is impressive as hell. I didn't know how good she was. She kind of, unfortunately, has been getting shadowed over by how big Lash Legend is. But Jakara might be ready.
She's showing a trend that direction, and yeah, it's very true. Lash Legend is the same size as Jade Cargill.
Like Jade Cargill. Yeah,
she's just
not as shredded.
Yeah, but Jade Cargill is a freak of nature. And you know what though? Lash Legend she's a physical specimen. She's got a huge upside too, and being in the ring with Vicker and Julia, there are other women who match the size profile and allow Jakara Jackson to show what she can do. I mean, if you stick her in there with Bianca and Jade and Lash Legend, she's the little one. She's got to take all the heat for the most part. So it was good. She's better than people gave her credit for. I wouldn't go so far as to say, oh, maybe she's ready. Let's say she's trending in that direction. We can kind of call this a bit of a coming out party, but let's not put the cart in front of the horse. Let's get a few. I'd almost like to see her have some one-on-one matches. Get her in there with like the Sol Ruka types, and let's see what can happen there.
I think that might be where. So maybe I spoke a little inappropriately here. When I say she's ready, I mean she's at least ready for NXT, like kind of like a higher level in the NXT level. I don't think she's quite there for the main roster yet, but I would definitely love to see her do a little bit more. I wouldn't mind seeing her involved in this Iron Survivor Challenge qualifiers. Even if she loses, I wouldn't mind seeing her get involved with someone for that.
A good place for her then would be to be in there with somebody she's clearly going to lose to. So we often talk about like throwbacks to things, and I remember, good Lord, I don't know how many years ago it is at this point, but it's when I think back to when Shawn Michaels wrestled Shelton Benjamin. We knew Shelton Benjamin wasn't winning, but he was put in a position to show everybody just how damn good he was. And we kind of need that for Jakara Jackson. A loss is not going to hurt her in the slightest. She's certainly not being pushed towards a title right now, but get out there, show what you can do. Even if it's not around a title, even if it's it could be a Stephanie or a Julia. It could be a Roxanne Perez. Maybe not Roxanne because she is the champ, but you get where I'm going with this. Yeah. So get out there, show everybody that you can hang, and have everybody go, well, holy crap. And that's kind of the best way to get the crowd on your side and then get the wrestling media on your side. So I'm hoping it happens for her. She seems like a lovely person.
And there was some cool stuff in this match too. Jakara diving off of Lash to the outside was a cool looking move. The one thing I will say is, and this is on all 4 of the ladies, it caused Stephanie and Julia to have to like kind of wait for the move, which unfortunately has been a real qualm, a real critique that I know myself and Showtime have had lately is having like watching these people wait for a move to hit. Like it's like, okay, you wouldn't be doing that normally. Like you're like there's no reason why they're just staring at her.
Yeah, I mean, that's also you see it at every level of pro wrestling. I mean, it happens when there's going to be some kind of a large spot. So that's where, if you want to buy into this is a real fight, if you will, here, air quotes for people who are only listening. I understand what that does, but at every level you see it, and you're seeing it less and less on the main roster because those folks are so polished. But I'm glad that it was Stephanie and Julia because they're both so skilled. They understood that, okay, and in the grand scheme of things, it's a second or two. So even though we're looking at it for a second or two, the big payoff happens, the crescendo happens, and you kind of forget about it. So I get it though, but I'd rather see the younger talent take that second and not get hurt and lean on the fact that you have two of the greatest in the world who are going to get you through that spot.
Exactly. It's kind of how I've been saying. Jakara looks impressive. Lash looked a bit lost during this match. I think she needs some seasoning. She needs some reps, some time. I like that she's getting all of this time in. The problem is I think she's getting pushed into areas that maybe she isn't ready for. Where I said Jakara looks like she's ready for a bigger role. Lash looks like she still needs to be sitting where she's at right now. I do like I did want to get your opinion on this though, Hound. Baby faces win the match, so Julie and Stephanie take the match, and they win it with the elite trigger. Is that is that a shot fired? Like, is that a message sent?
I mean, maybe it could be. I doubt it, though. Let's face facts. Both Julia spent the vast majority of time in Japan, and these are a big part of her arsenal. I mean, hell, what was it? I can't remember who her first match is. Was it? Chelsea
Green.
She finished it with an A, and Stephanie is also somebody who can lay it in there. They can make it look right. Now, I mean, there's no reason for the two of them to take a shot at the Bucks, but I mean, maybe if you want to stir the pot a little bit, sure, absolutely. They said "F you, Matt and Nick Jackson," but I don't think it's actually that.
So I could almost see this because I know Stephanie took a lot of heat from the outside world for having like that pay-per-view match with Mercedes and then immediately signing with WWE and like not like to the point where like she kind of just vacated her titles in CMLL and stuff like that. So that's the only reason why I'm asking is it seems like there could almost be a possibility like that might have been a little bit of a all right, we'll see who's elite. And truthfully, I'd rather watch Julie and Stephanie tag team than the Bucks.
Well, I mean, you've never been a fan of the middle-aged Bucks, when they were in their youth.
When they were in fact the young Bucks.
Yeah, when they were the youthful Bucks. Yes. But Stephanie and Julia, like we've said it, I don't know how many times, they're two of the very, very best in the world.
Very best.
And going back to what you said about Lash Legend needing time and not being pushed into a spot she's not ready for, I would like to almost see her and Jakara Jackson do what Mello and Trick did. And push Jakara because she's the more athletic. She's going to progress faster, but you get Lash out there the whole time. She gets involved, even if she's not putting on, 3, 4, and 5-star matches every week. She's getting around folks doing it. And as well as I do, you stand around water long enough, you get wet. So I think right now that's the play for her.
By the way, folks, when we say 3, 4, and 5-star matches, that's because we're working off the normal 5-star scale.
Yes.
We don't give galaxies.
Yeah, no. I mean, I would like to, but I have
or
yet to.
universes, if you will.
And truth be told, there's only a handful of matches that I would ever say truthfully could potentially exceed 5 stars, and the majority of them for me are classic matches. They're not the same as Meltzer.
No, good old Davy Boy Meltzer. Um, so like I said, I out of all of them, out of the entire show, I think I might have. I don't know what my favorite match was on this one, but this is a very good match. I like that they go directly from this into actually full on explaining how the Iron Survivor Challenge works. I appreciate that. Like, I appreciate you telling the fans, who even if they do know, you have to act sometimes like no one knows what the hell's going on. And I appreciate that NXT did this with the Iron Survivor Challenge, because you and I were even questioning it last week. We weren't sure because we weren't really watching NXT last year for the Iron Survivor stuff. And the way they describe it is actually kind of cool, man. Like, I like that King of the Mountain set up the reverse, the penalty box and stuff like that. That's really cool. I always like that idea. I think someone else was doing it. I think that was the King of the Mountain stuff for TNA for a while. Like, if you got pinned or something like that, you had to go sit in a penalty box basically, and like the goal was to put like the title on the, like, you had to climb up the ladder and put the title on the hook rather. But I like the fact that they explain this. This is a necessity.
It definitely is, because if you take somebody who doesn't know what's going on, the Iron Survivor breaks down into a spot fest. It has to. It's just set up for that. It's you can have some cool change stuff and a little bit of story stuff, if you will, like match psychology happening. But ultimately, you're going to have at least 2 points where it's finisher, 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 and only one person gets a pin out of the 94 finishers that just flew around the ring.
Perfect.
And as much as that's not our
Terrible.
style, as much as that's not our style, you know exactly as I do, it's 100% needed right there.
Oh, absolutely.
So being able to say that, being like, okay, well, Steve just got pinned because somebody did this. Okay, he's got to go be in the penalty box for a little bit. And now, with the amount of time left on the clock, he's down by 3 falls from the top person. Can he somehow squeeze 3 out, even though he just had to be in the penalty box? So it's definitely a cool concept, and a little bit of hand holding, because if you took a lay person and just dropped them in that match and they were like, wait, okay, but why are they're in the penalty box for fighting, but it's a fight. So what's going on here? And I could understand the confusion happening.
Exactly. I mean, part of this is also, you have to figure, like we said, they've just done a couple of bigger shows. They had the show in Chicago, they had the show in St. Louis, and they had the show at the ECW Arena. These are all shows that would get a casual fan to kind of come watch. And in that case, let's say you watched the ECW show last week, which we gushed over, and they're like, okay, we're going to watch that. Now that we watched it and we kind of like this one, we want to see what they do normally. And they watch this show, and all you hear is them talking about the Iron Survivor Challenge. They explain it in the first 20 minutes of the show. So you now know what the Iron Survivor Challenge is, and you're up to speed with the diehard fans.
Yeah, can't assume everybody knows what the hell is going on all the time. There's instruction manuals for a reason.
Exactly. Let's see. Our next match, or next segment even, is going to be Cora Jade versus Sol Ruka in an Iron Survivor qualifier match. I will give it to Sol Ruka. We talked about her, that we both like her. She's over with the Performance Center crowd, at least. And I did want to pose the question to you, Hound. We talked about that she needs that lightning in a bottle. Could this tournament be that lightning?
I think they're exposing her to it. I don't think there's a world where she wins the Iron Survivor Challenge, but the best thing that could come out of this for her would be she doesn't even need to finish number 2, like with the second highest score. If she can have 2 or 3 moments with that, yeah, I mean, and they all could be the Soul Snatcher because that is one of the coolest damn things ever.
So cool looking.
So if she can have a couple moments with that and almost make that a come out of nowhere type thing, she has everything going for her. She's got the look. She's phenomenally talented. She's unique. And the thing that I don't know if you caught this when she pinned Cora. She's covering her, and she was she counted 1, 2, and looked dead at the camera and hit like the hang loose for the 3 with like the biggest surfer smile ever. She sold her character perfectly right there. So to me, that at least in that moment, I don't know if it's every time she got it then. I'd like to see if she can keep having it. I think you know where I'm going with it. I'm having a hard time quantifying it, but it's one of those little intangibles that she seems to have figured out already.
I completely agree. I know we keep saying, or I keep saying this at least, Cora just looked a bit, and I don't want to bash on her, so I'm going to say the word timid. She looked timid in the ring. I'm going to assume that it's still ring rust. She looks like she's still a little hesitant to go fully in there. And I think that might be one of the reasons, not just to have Soul get over on someone that is supposed to be so experienced, but I think that might be one of the issues here is maybe Cora isn't quite as ready to take that leap into the role as she might need her to be.
Hello, Stoli. Everything is fine, but I see where you're going with that, and I guess this kind of I almost want to say it the way I had to say this to my child when she was younger, where Cora's going to have to learn. I know she's been bitten by the injury bug, but she's going to have to learn that she's not made out of glass, and she almost kind of needs to take a little bit of a shit whipping and realize, oh, okay, I'm okay. Kind of like, not to jump brands or anything, but when Adam Copeland took that spill and realized he was going to be okay, so she kind of needs one of those. And I think she's real scared still. So, and I get that, and that's fine. She doesn't need to be out there putting it all on the line just yet. I wouldn't even mind if she had another 2 months of just kind of, let's call them easier matches to get her back into the swing of things and slowly ramp up a little bit of, I don't want to say risk taking, but I can't think of another way to phrase it right now. And so that way she can realize she's going to be okay. Injuries are going to happen. If she thinks she'll never get injured again in this industry, she's out of her mind. But unfortunately, she took a couple of serious ones. And if same one happened again, it could end the career. I get that. So I don't mind giving her the time. And even though she did look timid, I thought she performed well enough. And she made Sol Ruka look good enough. And Sol made her look good enough. So
exactly,
she's improving. Of course, we'd like to see her improve at a faster rate because Cora Jade is not a bad wrestler. She really isn't. She's been hurt a bunch. So to me, it seems she's a little bit nervous. And I think we should give her the time because I do think she's actually got some talent. And plus, I think her entrance music is top notch.
Fair enough. I agree with you though. I think maybe what she needs is like if you ever like I know you're a college football fan. Like she needs a tune-up game. She needs a couple tune-up matches. I think she needs to get in there with some people who are good enough. If this was in the men's division, I would say she needs matches with the Cedric Alexanders. She needs those people that she can get over on. And if she beats them, it's not questionable. But also, if they beat her, it might not be as questionable either.
Yeah, and just that, and people who are I think she needs a program with somebody who's extremely safe. Like, if there was a women's division counterpart to The Miz. You don't ever hear about The Miz hurting somebody in a match or anything like that. And never, I'd like to believe that people don't intentionally hurt each other, but The Miz is one of the safest workers ever. I would almost like to see, like, and again, I pose this to anybody listening. If you can think of somebody like that, I would love to put that thought exercise out there for all of us. And really, I think that's what it is she needs her confidence built up more than anything. I think she's just scared that every step is going to lead to just something blowing out.
Exactly. Yeah. Like you said, I think we're both on the same track with this. I think it's just a matter of needing her to get the time and getting, like we said, tune-up matches with some viable people. Let's see. We go from that to, what do we have next? Oh, we get the Young and the Restless. More soap opera stuff known as Carmen and Ashante the Adonis. This stuff is not my cup of tea, but it's there. And now there's going to be matches involved, so now we have to pay attention to it.
I mean, we can, look, again, not my cup of tea either. I will say this, and this is kind of the way I'm trying to approach most things when it comes to this. I'm not interested in it. I'm hoping it surprises me, and we come out the other side of it going, you know what, I enjoyed that. All right, that was cool. And if it doesn't, we're like, and we go with it was a match.
I think that's where we're going to be. I think it's going to be a match. We go right from that into, we get Ava addressing the tag team division, kind of saying that everyone has a chance to go after the tag team titles. It seems like this seems to be the underlying story that we're getting all throughout this show, is that all the tag teams in NXT are basically going to try to kill each other tonight. So there's that. We move right from that into Wes Lee versus Cedric Alexander in an Iron Survivor qualifier match. It was a good wrestling match. I thought Cedric showed a nice bit of aggression while Wes was doing some kind of fun, cowardly heel stuff, like not overly comedy, but some fun comedy heel stuff. It has a real nice back and forth. We get Wes Lee going over in the match, which was kind of a given, but this was not a bad match. Cedric Alexander this is why I said we need the female version of him for Cora Jade. Ced is good, man. He's real good. Just, there's a reason why the Hurt Business was him, Shelton, and Bobby Lashley originally. Like, he's good. He's good enough to pull it off.
100%. And so a couple of things for Cedric Alexander. One, I like the fact that the finish came because he hit his head on an exposed turnbuckle. So you half protected him a little bit in it, because at any point, if they chose to push him, it makes sense. So if he's just going to be a gatekeeper, okay, so be it. I'm sure it's not the most fun place to be, but he seems to just enjoy being in the ring. And secondly, for anyone listening who didn't see it, and if you're not familiar with Cedric Alexander, a couple of years, maybe more than a couple of years back, they had the WWE Cruiserweight Classic from around the world. Please go watch the match between him and Kota Ibushi. And at the end of it, when the crowd was chanting, "Please sign Ced," to the point where Triple H came out and said, yes. Like, it's one of the, you talk about hardest hitting, just athletic displays ever, and Cedric Alexander is so damn good.
Oh, I agree. And afterwards, when they had he did the program with Buddy Matthews when he was Murphy at the time. Where they went at it over the cruiserweight title. That was real.
Yeah,
that was very real.
Oh my gosh, there's some people out there like Cedric Alexander. It's a shame that he's just not 3 inches taller.
Like, could you imagine if he was the same height as Shelton?
Yeah, no, it's if he was the same height as Shelton, if he was the same height as Cody Rhodes, anything like that, at all times, he's not a contender for the world title, but we're talking about a 10, 15 time IC or US champ where you're just constantly happy to see him involved in stuff. And yeah, there's not enough positive things that can be said about this. And it's he made Wesley look really good. Not that Wesley needs help looking good, but he did his job well.
I agree. Yeah, he made Wesley look great. He did exactly what he was supposed to do here. Again, this was a really good. Like I said, this card wasn't bad. This show wasn't bad. It just they came off of so many highs that delivering a just good card makes it seem that much lower.
Yeah, you can, and that's why I kept stressing the idea of the palate cleanse, because we could look at it that way and be like, oh my gosh, and then make the clickbait title, is NXT slipping, with the like weird face like that. Yeah,
yeah, like the wet floor sign.
Exactly. But no, it's certainly they're not. This is 100%. You have to let things ebb and flow, and the show got across what it needed. It's getting across its qualifiers for the Iron Survivor, and you're giving some people their few minutes to go out there and do their thing. We don't need every show every time to be WrestleMania-esque, if you will.
I agree. I agree. So, sometimes you need, like you said, a lull, a palate cleanse. We actually get a really good segment after this. It's the Shawn Spears, Tony D'Angelo segment. I really like what Shawn Spears does here. It's almost like he's a different mafia. Like he's a different family. Like it's like D'Angelo sitting with like the Russian mafia almost. Like or the Yakuza, like, hey, you're another crime family, but so I'm gonna give you that much respect. But at the same time, you need to know who the Don is.
Yeah, it's so. I mean, it was a good segment. Now, if you were looking for acting chops, well, this was this was high school play acting.
Well, so I thought Spears did really well.
But what I was going to say,
Tony is a character. He's actually like a caricature.
Yes.
Of not even Scarface, of just like Goodfellas.
He is a conglomeration, if you will, of Sonny from A Bronx Tale, and a little bit of John Gotti, and I just picked the character from The Godfather. He's a conglomeration of all of that, and done poorly. But the Spears, the thing that he got across while I'm sitting there going, like, and I say this because my daughter's a part of the theater team and the theater crew, so hooray for me! I'm going to sit through some high school plays, which I'm excited for. But Spears came off a little bit ominous, and he needed to there, which was good.
All I can think about now that you said that he's Sonny from A Bronx Tale is they're going to do that bit now. They're going to do something where they lock him in a room and they're like, now you can't leave.
Yeah, put him in the bathroom. Can't put him in JoJo's in the bathroom.
I don't want to look at him while the kids. I don't want the kid to look at him while he's rolling.
Frankie Coffee Cakes, no good. I don't want that face looking at my kid while he's rolling the dice.
Oh my god. Oh, it's just it gets more and more humorous every time we see something from him.
I love it. It bothered me at first, and now I like it.
Of course you do. It's growing on us like a fungus at this point. Oh, all right. So we get the Trick Williams in-ring promo, which is slightly interrupted by Andre Chase, and it is completely interrupted by Rich Holland. It appears that Andre Chase is going to be gambling Chase U against Ridge. if Ridge wins, Andre Chase is no longer have any relationship with the remainder of the Chase U people, the the Thea Hales and the sort, the like, if you will.
Oh no.
Oh no. Oh no, we're not gonna have Chase U
Oh,
anymore.
please make it stop. Oh my gosh, no. Might be still my beating heart. We've been saying it's time for it to come for
It's time.
months now.
Months.
You can bring
Since we started doing these episodes.
You can bring Chase U back once in a while, and it'll pop the crowd once in a while. But it's now time for the gosh, what do you call I didn't get to go away to college. What is the person who walked the halls of the dorm who was a student but was like making sure you were following the rules? You know what I'm talking about.
The resident advisor, the RA.
Yeah, so Andre Chase is the RA. Like, okay, I'm over the RA, dude. Let me have my beer in peace. Kind of like, stay the hell out of here. I'm sorry that I get to hang out with people of the opposite gender and you don't. Like, go away now.
Ha ha. Oh man, but I also here's the thing. Like, not only have we said that Chase U has kind of run its course, but if the amount of building up that you've done to Ridge Holland to have him lose to Andre Chase, if that happens, like, what are we doing here? I want to believe that there's no world that that's going to happen, right? Like, that can't happen.
I am
even if it can happen, lie to me and tell me it can't happen right now.
I am so mad at you that you put that in the universe. Because, look, the Undertaker streak couldn't end. And I said, and I was wrong every year. I'm like, I think it's going to end. And you're like, no, you're always wrong, until I was right about Lesnar. Man, look, no, of course Andre Chase isn't winning. I really hope, but...
Should you be mad at me, or should you be mad at you for making bad predictions?
What I'm saying here is
I'm so nervous now. Like, I'm so nervous. Like, I've gotten so into Ridge Holland lately too. Like, he's so good.
Crap, Andre Chase is winning. Damn it.
And we're gonna have to hear Trick Williams call him Mr. Chase for like another 2 weeks.
Good Lord. No, I mean,
Mr. Chase.
It's
Mr. Chase.
I think they Stoley agrees. Get Chase U out of here.
Yeah, get him out. Right, Stoley? Yeah, exactly. You listen to that Pomsky. She's the executive producer.
And she's doing a fine job. But of course, look, could it happen? Yes. See, no, she just yelled at me. Okay, Stoley, I agree. It can't happen.
She was yelling. I muted it for a second because I knew it was coming. Apparently, someone is moving somewhere next to my third floor apartment. They're obviously on the balcony.
I love it. For once, it's not my animal.
Yeah, right. We go right from that promo to we see we get Nikkita Lyons versus Rizzo. I like this match overall. The match is a little sloppy, but I feel like it should have been a little sloppy. My issue with it is it's a little slow overall. And I think, again, I'm going to give Nikkita a little bit of, it's kind of the same caveat that we're giving Cora Jade. She's just coming back. And I don't think it's a matter of her not being willing to do the stuff that she used to do. It's she's still getting her body back to the shape to be able to do what she used to do. She looked a little blown up during the match. Just visually, it looked like we were moving a little slower because she had to move a little slower. But again, she is still just coming back. We could say maybe she came back a little bit too early, but that's not for us to say. We're just here to cover the match. Like I said, I liked the match. We get the end of the match where Lyons ends up winning, and and they say it's over, and then Rizzo nails her with a crowbar and goes full mafia and says, "Now it's over, sweetheart."
So I see what you're saying, and yes, there you can tell that, and we've said this before, and you and I both know what this means. And to folks who are listening, if you just happen to be a fan of pro wrestling, or if you're somebody who has a little bit of know-how on the inside, there is a major difference between in shape and ring shape. Major difference. And you also got to figure the two of them, I don't think they've fully established their chemistry together yet. I think they're going to have it. So I would rather them kill two birds with one stone, get used to each other, find out, if you're reversing, as well as I do, it's somebody you're comfortable with. You can reverse an Irish whip 100 times out of 100, perfectly, foot placement, everything else. You're not comfortable with somebody, you might want to take 15 minutes going through that with them before the show, just so that
I
way you
agree.
can get the feel. And I think the two of them just need some more time with each other. And yeah, Nikkita Lyons, she's very, very talented, and she just needs some more time.
So I'm going to ask you this because I have this written here. She gets nailed with this crowbar. This should be something that like lays her out for a little bit, right? Could this be a way to maybe write her off for like a week or two at least, or 3, to let her really try to build her win back up a little bit more? Maybe she's realizing that because that could be a real thing. Like if she's realizing that she doesn't have the win that she should, maybe she needs some extra time for reps.
So, okay, so life, it's look, whenever September hits, it's basically Happy New Year. So like once September hits, the rest of the year disappears, and so does my concept of time. How far are we from the next PLE when we're going to have the Iron Survivor Challenge? Are we 3 weeks out now?
Let me check for
Because
us.
that would be a perfect way to do that. Is and then somehow get her involved with something, or you can have the blow off to that from there. But yeah, let her.
I think we're looking at a little bit more than so we have this week, next week. It's like just on the cusp of 3 weeks, December 7th.
Okay.
And as we're recording, it's the 18th. We're in the week of AEW's the Full Gear pay-per-view. So we have this weekend, then the following weekend would be Survivor Series, and then the following weekend would be Deadline.
Yeah, I would write her off and let her go to the Performance Center and just get put through
Drills.
2-a-days with the trainers down there.
Yeah, super drills.
Yeah.
Run the ropes, hit bombs, run the ropes, hit bombs,
Yep.
up and overs, all the stuff, like until you can't help but hit it right again.
Yeah, that, and as well as I do, man, like we've both of us have struggled with weight and doing this, and both of us have invested in countless hours of working out only to ruin it with Oreos. And
Yes. An Oreo Diet Coke.
Yeah.
Or Oreo Coke Zero.
It's I hate that I enjoyed the flavor of that. But that being said, it's you can tell when you're starting to get more wind, and if you're somebody who has spent time being active, you can feel it coming back quicker, and it's a really cool thing. And I think over the course of 2 weeks we can get back to where we can get a solid between 7 and 12 minutes out of Nikkita Lyons with only 1 or 2 rest holds, and each of those only being about 45 seconds.
I agree. Also, she's a lifelong athlete. She's a martial artist her whole life. She's been wrestling for a good while. She's a dancer. I think a little bit of this is she was hurt. I'm not questioning her shape as far as anything else, but you get hurt, she probably wasn't able to work out the way that she's used to. And even her flexibility and all that stuff is probably hurting right now. Look, man, I got a lot of friends that love them some Nikkita Lyons. She's still Thicky the Dragon Creamboat. I'm just saying, you know who you are if you're listening to the show. You were at the wedding with me.
I hate the fact that you just said when I woke up today.
That wasn't on your bingo card?
I was very certain that that collection of English words was not going to hit me in succession. Son of a bitch.
Now you can't unsee it either.
I can't unhear anything anymore. But yeah, you're not wrong.
Like, I don't even remember what I hit you with last week. That I was like,
I don't even know.
It was saying that that Nunzio looks like Alberto Del Rio from Wish or whatever.
Yes, he is Timu Burrito Del Rio.
he's Timu El Patron.
Exactly.
Oh my god! This is what happens.
Dragon Cream Boat. Jesus, tap dancing Christ.
You're welcome. Everybody's welcome for that one. It's not a new line, but Hound, you are specifically welcome.
My God. I want to go home, and I am already home.
Yeah, you can't go anywhere. Let's see what we got next. All right, we get a Chase U backstage segment with everyone else involved in Chase U is unhappy with Andre Chase for gambling their futures again. I keep saying this. I could see this being a situation where they are not like they have the chance to help him and they don't.
I hope you're right, and I hope you're right because it is time for Chase U to go away. But I want somebody to say they did it because they found out Chase U wasn't accredited and the degree was going to be meaningless.
Was the movie Accepted with Jonah Hill and Justin Long?
Yeah, the South Harmon Institute of Technology. The shit.
That's
sandwiches.
What Chase U is. That's literally what Chase U is. Oh man! All right. So after that little ditty, we get Javon Evans versus Lexis King in an Iron Survivor qualifier. I knew I was gonna like this match going in. There was no question of it. It's a very athletic match. I will keep saying this. I like Evans a lot, and I like Lexis King more each week. Every week I see Lexis King, I like him more and more.
Yeah, the two of them did a phenomenal job. That finishing sequence, kudos to the two of them because Lexis King made it look like his face got kicked off. For a split second, I was like, oh, he didn't pull that. And you know what? Lexis King is crazy enough that he might have been like, no, kick me.
Do it.
Yeah, just charging at him face. Like, don't worry, I bit down. I bit down. We're fine. And
you have no teeth left. I'm good.
It's fine. I like applesauce. And then that finish, whatever, I don't know what it's called, but that twisting splash that Javon Evans uses, extremely athletic. I thought the two of them did a great job.
I have written here too. I wouldn't mind if these two wrestled like a real program with each other. Like if we got a best of 7 series out of these two, I wouldn't mind that. That would be like, obviously not right now, but I could see that being a thing.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind seeing the two of them go to war over the North American title.
Yeah, I would love that. Like we said, Evans goes over clean on this. He advances. I kind of figured that was going to be how this worked out. Javon Evans was going to advance, and Cedric Alexander was not going to advance because they just keep proving that no one actually cares about Cedric Alexander.
I care about Cedric Alexander.
I like him a lot.
That's
all right. It is what it is. Let's see.
He understands his place in the pecking order, unfortunately.
I wish he was a little higher. Yeah. I hate that he's getting labeled as the old man. It makes me feel so much older.
Dude, we are old.
I know, but Cedric isn't that old.
Okay, well, Ed, listen, out of the three of us, I'm the old one, so.
Yeah, by like less than a year.
Are you 42 yet?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, because I'm 43 now. So, yeah. Yes. Yeah, I'm just close. I'm closer to death. That's all it means.
You got me for 5 more months. All right, so let's move on, though. We got the main event. Fallon Henley versus Kalani Jordan for the North American title. This is Kalani's rematch. Jordan shows a lot of athletics during this. Fallon Henley is just a classic heel, like a classic ruthless heel. She's not necessarily full on cowardly, but like she does a lot of really cool heel tactics. And Kaylani went for that split leg moonsault, and I really like Fallon's reversal of it. She kind of like stood up and just like yanked her leg out from under her. It was and just like face planted her, which made her seem even more vicious. Like I said, this was a good match. I think the right winner came out of this. I think Kaylani, though, as great as she is or could be, I think she also needs a little bit of seasoning, and I think she needs a feud that doesn't involve this title.
Yeah, it's look, the match did what it was supposed to. If they had this title reign be super transitionary like that to go right back to that champ, to me, you're telling me that you don't believe in that person right now. And I fully believe that she is the right heel for the mid card title. She doesn't need a long run. I think she's going to have one. Well, and in terms of NXT long runs, that's 6 months, but I think we're going to get close to that time frame before she drops it, and I think it's going to do her a world of good. I hope that across this run, there's a couple of like watching the fans of whatever face is chasing that belt get their hearts broken, almost like when Bailey's #1 fan would cry every time Bailey lost. Like I kind of hope that they recreate something like that.
That's Izzy. She's a wrestler now. That's how long this has been.
I know.
She's like 20 now.
Bro, my daughter's 16. Like nothing surprises me anymore.
Is she going to start wrestling soon?
No, but I have to pay for driving school.
Oh.
Yeah.
The more scary that she's going to be driving or that you have to pay for the school?
Well, it doesn't matter what the school teaches her. She has to pass my test. And for anybody out there listening, I was a professional driver for more than half my life. Now I could parallel park a 53-foot trailer in Midtown Manhattan, blindfolded upside down. I'll teach my daughter how to drive a car. Like, it'll be fine.
All right. So that was NXT, guys. Like we said, it was a solid C plus B minus show. Nice little palate cleanser show. Nothing was wrong with it. You know, there was nothing wrong with this show. There was nothing. They didn't do anything silly or stupid except for include Chase U just in general. And maybe a little bit of Tony D'Angelo, but whatever. Hey.
Oh.
Hey-o. It's never gonna get old.
Yeah,
right.
I just want him to hit somebody with a damn supersat. Just hit him with a deli meat. Just one time. Just please.
What was that? Prosciutto.
Give him the provolone.
Oh my god.